Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's bump date. Today I'm 36 weeks pregnant, which is absolutely wild. That's 9 months. We've made it to the end. We are here. We're in the final stretch. If he were to come right now, he'd be perfectly fine. We're just fat building and brain building now, and that is wild. For once, I'm filming this video and I don't have my washing machine going in the background. I'm so sorry. I tend to film these either on Sundays or Mondays, which I'm usually doing laundry on those days. And in the past videos, I can hear my washing machine going and I'm like, oh, why do I always start laundry before? I'm lazy today and haven't started yet. So there we go. You're welcome. Yeah, so 36 weeks this week, which is absolutely crazy. We're home birth safe on the weekend. And we are officially completely ready for him. I've gotten all the things I need for him, all those last minute tiny little bits. I've got the last couple things I needed for home birth supplies. Everything is ready. Everything is set up. I've got a home birth supply video coming to you guys really shortly. I filmed that already. I went through all of my postpartum supplies, home birth supplies. I talked you through what I have and why, and that video will be coming out soon. So hopefully that will be helpful to anybody who is also pregnant, maybe planning a home birth, or just wanting to know what to have on hand for postpartum, or what I find helpful the third time around. But we're in that home stretch and so exciting. I'm just feeling really ready for him and really excited for when he comes. Like really ready for him, but I hope he doesn't come for another 3 weeks. Just because, yes, I'm ready, but I do want him to be close to his due date at least. If he decides to come on the earlier end, I hope it's only a few days, just because it's more convenient for our schedule with it being December. But I also hope he doesn't cook for too much longer because I really want to have some space between his birthday and Christmas. But we'll see. You know what? He knows his birthday and he's gonna choose whatever day he decides, and we're just gonna roll with it. Must-have items now that I am 9 months pregnant. I don't know, the same. Water, snacks. I'm eating so much food, you guys. My appetite has increased tenfold. Yeah, I just need to snack, and I need high protein quality foods, and I need to make sure that I'm eating my snacks. My calorie demand has definitely upped. So that's another thing in my body where I'm like, okay, we're gearing up, we're collecting that energy so we can go into labor. My body's like, here we go. So is food, does that count as a must-have item? Again, you guys know I don't really have a lot of must-have items. Like my maternity pants, I have one pair of maternity leggings that I wash every other day. Because I wasn't willing to buy a bunch. Bad. So at this point, without those, I would be lost and naked. But yeah, that's it for just the usuals. My birthing ball is super essential to me, and my nightly baths. My nightly Epsom salt baths are a must. Sleep. Oh, sleep. When you're 9 months pregnant, what for art thou, sleep? This week has been a hard sleep week. It's not great, guys. It's not great. It's not terrible. It could be worse. That's what I always say to everything. It could be worse. It's how I keep positive, I keep my mental state happy. Could be worse. Okay, so at the beginning of the week, I have been having really horrible heartburn. And it's not, I have a treatment for it that works. I treat it with apple cider vinegar, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, a little bit of water. You shoot that down. It burns like nothing else for 3 seconds, and then it neutralizes the stomach acid, and I don't have heartburn anymore after that. It's fine. It sucks. Whatever. It works great without having to take over-the-counter stuff, which I'm not really into. So it's not that I have a problem with the heartburn. I can treat the heartburn. The issue is he is so big now, and he's so... Not only is his head as far down as it can go, his butt is as high up as it can go, and it's right under my boobs. This has always been how I carry my babies. They're literally he's right here. I don't know if you can see how far down, but this is the top of my bump right here. My boobs rest on my belly. So there's just no room, and his butt's right here. Hey, dude. there's your booty. Like, there's just no room for my poor esophagus and stomach to stand a chance at this point. So what has been happening at night is I go to lay down and get comfy and I fall asleep. I have no heartburn. It's fine. Everything's fine. And then in 2 to 3 hours, I wake up choking and sputtering and coughing because that little flap has just bloop, opened up and the stomach acid has gone into my throat and is choking me and trying to murder me. This is a first for me. I've always had bad heartburn because of this giant baby situation in all of my pregnancies. But this choking and sputtering awake at night is new and it sucks. So I try to sleep on more pillows. I try to sleep a little bit more elevated. Like I've even tried to take my apple cider vinegar shot first preemptively. It doesn't change things because it's not that it's necessarily heartburn. It's just that flap because everything relaxes, especially as you're going into your third trimester. That relaxin hormone is super rampant in your body. And it can relax your esophagus flap. So that's what's been happening. And then I get up and I'm choking and then I have heartburn and then I have to treat it and then I have to wait and sit up for a little while. And while I'm waiting and sitting up for a little while, that usually wakes me up, which kind of snowballs into insomnia because I'm not tired anymore and I don't necessarily want to go to sleep. And then sometimes finally, after an hour when I want to go to sleep, I get a little bit hungry and I'm like, I can wait till morning. And then I try to fall asleep and all I think about is how I'm hungry. Then I get up and I have to go have a snack. And then I have to sit up for a little bit longer so that I don't get heartburn again. And then I can fall asleep. So it has been every night. I'm up for a couple hours in the night. That's how it's been. Usually I sleep until about 3 and then I'm up until this morning. For example, last night I slept until 4:19 and then I was up until 7. Just because that was on my own fault though. I woke myself up too much by accident. So yeah, it's not the best situation. And there was a couple of nights this week where I actually went and slept on the couch because I just couldn't deal with the feeling like I was choking every night. So we went and had a slumber party on the couch. Cody came with me because he didn't want me sleeping alone. And it was so comfy and so supportive. I slept on my chaise lounge and just propped pillows around me. And the angle was great and I had no heartburn and no choking. I've come back to bed for the last 2 nights and I've been okay so far. So I'm just really I'm trying my best, taking it day by day. You know, if I end up choking again, I'm just going to go back down to the couch and we're just going to, whatever. You know what? We're in the final stretch. It's not going to last forever. It feels forever now. And I know that from experience, from having babies before. I just can't let myself get impatient now because I know when he's here, it'll feel oh, wow, that was so quick. And then I know time just passes in a blur and he'll be, growing before my eyes and it all just passes too quickly. So I'm trying to be super patient and I'm just trying to give myself a ton of grace in this last trimester. So that was a big long-winded way to say sleep has not been great, but it is what it is. Aches and pains. This is another new one. So about 35 weeks, I could really start to feel my body prepare for labor. This happened with Grayson as well. And with Grayson, I had prodromal labor, which, why did I say that so weird? Which just means that your body, it's more than Braxton Hicks. It's real contractions. It's very early stages of labor that never turns into real labor. They are real contractions. They are uncomfortable. They feel like real contractions. They're dilating the cervix. They're working on the body, but it won't put you into full-blown labor. So I had that for weeks with Grayson, and I think it's starting again. 35 weeks, I definitely started to feel a shift, and in the week until now, in the past week and a few days, I've definitely noticed that my body is for sure gearing up to have a baby now. I feel a lot of pressure in my cervix. I feel a lot of pinching sensations of that dilation feeling. Lots of zaps and lots of just cervix changing feelings. Now, I should say though, just because this stuff is happening does not mean that he's going to be here early. Again, this started around the same time with Grayson. I even lost my mucus plug with him. TMI, at like 37 weeks. I didn't have him until 41 and 3 days. Like, it doesn't mean anything. But it might mean something, but it probably doesn't mean anything. So Braxton Hicks are getting more intense. In the past, like probably 3 or 4 days, I've noticed that in the evening around the same time, I get a few contractions. They're not painful. I don't find contractions painful. I find them intense. That's the best way to explain it. Like, I don't find that sensation pain. It's not the right word for it. It's so like, yeah, I've not, they're not consistent. They're not regular. They're not timeable. This is what I have been worrying about, not worrying, but like, this is something I've been thinking about this whole pregnancy, is one of my like concerns, I guess. It's not really a concern. Like, it's not actually something I'm worried about, but it is something that's on my radar, is that if my water doesn't break like it has the last 2 times, to let me know that I'm in labor. Because I've never had a contraction before my water breaks before, till it'd be like, oh, like you're having contractions and then your water breaks and then you have a baby. My water has broke, contractions started, I've had a baby. And that's how it's been for me. I don't know anything different. So a part of me does worry that with the prodromal labor, if that is indeed what's starting, I should see my midwife this week, I think. And so I'm going to chat with her about that and just like let her know what's going on. Again, there's nothing to be done and there's nothing to worry about. But it is on my radar that like with the prodromal labor, if I do start labor with contractions first, I worry that I won't recognize that. And then by the time I realize I'm in labor, I'll be really far into labor. Again, I have very fast labors, very quick labors, very like short and intense, but I also have a really high pain tolerance. Again, I don't consider labor painful, and I'm very good at ignoring it. So there is that thing in the back of my mind where it's like, I really hope my water breaks first as like my first sign, because if this is prodromal labor starting, it kind of numbs the mind. Like, you're used to it. Like, every night I get a couple of contractions, whatever, I just like go on with my night. Like, I think last night I had like 4 or 5 in maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hour span. Nothing timeable, like nothing I would worry about, nothing I would even like pay attention to. But because I'm like, oh, here's prodromal labor, whatever, there is that part of me that's like, what if this is how real labor starts and I've just had it prodromal labor for weeks and I just ignore it. So yeah, that's definitely something on my mind, definitely a possibility. But whatever, if that happens, we're prepared. Whatever, he can come as quickly as he'd like. Now, like when I'm having prodromal labor, when I feel a couple contractions, I'll just like casually let Cody know, like, hey, I've had a couple contractions tonight. He knows, so he's like, okay, but like I just let him know just in case, just make him aware, so that he could be ready to snap into action at any time as well. So yeah, like not Braxton Hicks definitely all day long. And they're uncomfortable now that he's really big. They're just really tight and really uncomfortable because there's just not room for him anymore. Yeah, but thankfully, like no SPD pain, no pelvic girdle pain anymore. I had that really bad flare up, you guys know, and then there's been nothing since. Like, I've been perfect, which is bizarre. And I'm having preemptive Epsom salt baths every night. I'm making sure I'm like doing exercises, making sure I'm like toning my hips and doing a lot of pelvic stuff, just so that I don't get one of those again, because oh my goodness, I do not want another flare up this close. I'm not even gonna talk about cravings. I've just been eating a lot of food. You guys know I don't crave things. Cereal has been not a craving, but I just enjoy eating it. I like the crunch of it. I eat a bowl of cereal like every single day. That's what I had this morning when I was up at like 6:30. I've been up for like 2 hours. I went and had a big bowl of cereal. Cereal's my bestie, but I wouldn't call it a craving. I don't really get cravings. I don't know. I'm just eating all the food right now. All of it. Eating it. Baby movements are huge. They are regular and they are like really bulgy now. Like my belly goes lopsided now. Limbs stick out. They're quite painful, if I'm being honest. Like, those are painful. I don't find my contractions to be really painful, but the movements can be very painful. because it's just like so tight, and I have an anterior placenta, and so I think sometimes when he like, you know, jams an elbow into my placenta, it's like, ow man. Can we not? So lots of movements. He has like a regular rhythm and pattern of a schedule of the day that I'm able to follow, which is nice. So his movements are predictable. I don't really do kick counts. I'm just looking out for those predictable movements. There's things I can do to get him to wiggle around, and I know that there's times of the day after I've eaten, you know, when I drink a hot drink, every evening around, and like there's an afternoon pocket, there's a morning pocket, and there's an evening pocket where he will for sure be moving. And I just make sure I look out for those and like feel those. But other than that, I really try not to sweat I don't do kick counts because I find them stressful. I don't want to introduce anxiety into my pregnancy, so I opt to not do them and just kind of listen to my body and pay attention. So yeah, lots of baby movement going on. The worst thing though is like his head is so low now that when he moves around and he like also moves his head, it hurts my cervix a lot. Like it's really, really uncomfortable because it's just like these like just zapping pains in the nerve endings around the cervix. So that's really uncomfortable. It's like I can handle the up movements and the kicks and the butt moving. It's the head movements that really get me these days. Challenges, I think I went over that with the sleep, really. That's like the biggest challenge right now. And then if we're going into prodromal labor, the biggest challenge is going to be mentally for me, to keep... I'm so grateful I'm having a baby at Christmas time because there's just so much to distract me. There's so much going on. There's so many like cozy hygge things we can do. The kids and I can craft and watch movies, and there's just a lot to keep me happy and motivated. With Grace and with my last pregnancy, the prodromal labor really got to me, and I actually got prenatal depression in the last trimester, in the last month, and I didn't know I had it until like I had powered through it and didn't realize that I had even had it until I gave birth, and it went away, and I was like, oh wow, I was like mentally in a really thick fog. So I'm just aware of that this time, and I'm just making sure that I'm just taking care of myself, like meeting all my needs, making sure that I'm not isolating myself. Yeah, I'm just aware of that because prodromal labor can be really, even though I say I ignore it, it's still like you're aware of it. It starts up every night and you're like, okay, here we go. Is this it? Is this going to turn into anything? Nope. Like, so it's just like really mentally exhausting, and physically exhausting because they're real contractions. So yeah, I'm just like, that's my biggest challenge, is just like staying on top of being really aware of that mental game and the mental portion of the last 4 weeks or so of pregnancy. Okay, I think that's all I have to talk to you guys about. I rambled a lot longer than I thought I would today, so let me show you the belly, 36 weeks. Yeah, large and in charge, as per usual. Okay, here's the belly from the side and from the front. Let me fix my pants. Here we go. If you guys see, I've got a new little stretch mark. I got one stretch mark. It's like this little zigzag, which is kind of funny. If you know, you know. There's from the front. Very big. And if you notice, you guys see how flat my belly button is this time? With Grayson, like, my belly button definitely stuck out. It's out, it's just flat. And so I think, I'm going to confirm with my midwife, but I'm pretty confident the reason I kind of square off right here is because of the position of my placenta. Because my placenta is right here, there's not like the baby immediately there to push that little bit out. There's also been a chance where like I feel like maybe he could be facing up sometimes, but I think I have corrected that, and I think he's in the position that he needs to be for birth now. But again, something I will check with my midwife. But yep, there's the bump. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. Next video we will be home birth safe, and we will be at 37 weeks. full term, and I don't know how many bump dates we have left. Hopefully we get to 39 weeks. That's like kind of my ideal, but I guess we'll see. Who knows? We're ready for him whenever he decides. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in my next one tomorrow. Bye guys.